Cutie pies and pumpkin pies. Today, we're actually going to look at GCR and the rumors that he is Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, the Bitcoin price, friends, is still going sideways. We are still waiting to see where is the future going to take us. This is just a daily chart. On Bitcoin chart, this is the weekly. A lot of people have been trying to predict where we're going based off these little 4 red weekly candles, but it is Rectember. We're just going to wait and see how it plays out. If you just draw it out, man, we haven't moved anywhere in 6 months. You had a Bitcoin ETF from Roca Negra. You have all these other positive news, and people are wondering, why isn't it going up? Well, you already know why. Cycles, man. Cycles. It's it. It's just if the market doesn't want to go up during a particular week or a particular month, it doesn't matter what news comes out. You need such a huge sonic boom worth of front running to occur if you want to break that cycle. And like, they're not going to come and turn on the money printers just to save crypto. So I figured we'd have a little bit of fun. You know, there is a trader on crypto Twitter. His name is GCR. I think Gigantic Cascock something R. And that's just a pseudonym given by the leaderboards. They give you like 3 words attached to the name. Now, GCR is one of the best, if not the best trader that we know of, without using any of like these super high-tech algorithms that have some sort of cheating edge because they connect to the crypto exchanges, okay? So this is one of his P&Ls, up 5.6 million. This is a short on Luna Classic. And he has another one here. He's long 4.1 million. He was long Bitcoin, 1,800 Bitcoin. Like, he's got notional size here, 40 million. So, you know, if that was 10x leverage, which I'm sure it's not, he'd have 4 million in the account. He's worth probably hundreds and hundreds of millions. Who knows if he even is approaching a billionaire? We don't know. But he does make very famous forecasts. And he has a very high strike rate. He is a real soothsayer, a fortune teller. But there's been information that one of these candidates running for presidency in the US America is GCR. And someone here, this person, Alan Turning, shout out to Alan. I don't know how you did this, dude. If you were able to do this, I want to know what you were smoking to figure this out. So Vivek, so this is this gentleman. We're going to find out. This gentleman, Vivek, right? And like, I read through this, I was like, this is pretty convincing, but it could be somebody in the team. They definitely know each other. That's almost 100% guaranteed. And this juicy information that's coming out. So that's why I wanted to put it out there. Now, this was fascinating to see. For somebody who's in crypto, for you to like George Soros, you have to be a particular type of person. So not many people know in crypto who George Soros is, but as a trader, but everybody just knows him as like this evil shadow lord in the background who's controlling stuff. So George Soros is one of the greatest probably traders of all time. He got famous for breaking the Bank of England. By the way, this is George's son, I think. Okay, so I guess we got to watch out for him. He's probably going to be doing stuff to the human population in the next couple of decades. You know, so George was known for breaking the Bank of England. And I have this beautiful chart here to share with you. This is actually the chart here that you see on the right-hand side. Do you see this chart, friends? This is where George Soros, he put on, this is back in the 1990s, he put on $1 billion short position on the Bank of England, basically saying that, you know, the rates are going to have to move. He did a big interest rate bet, and it was freaking enormous, and he made the bank pivot. He did such an enormous level break, and he crushed it. Fascinating to know, after he did this trade, he tried to repeat it, and he got crushed. So, you know, I think he made like a couple of billion here, maybe his $1 billion trade. I think in one of his trades, though, he had an enormous loss. He lost like 300 to 500 million, like something huge. And you don't hear about that one. You only hear about this big winner. But isn't it interesting to know that someone who got something so right took an enormous loss at another point after that, trying to relive that? You might be able to draw some similarities with some crypto investors and traders trying to relive the past. And as a quick mention, friends, thank you very much for liking, subscribing, press the bell button, or, you know, on my profile, right, I'm talking about reliving the past. See, I know this happened to George Soros. This is why, I mean, friends, I've been in markets for a long time. I know when it's good, when it's not good. So I have this record here. I am not going to keep chasing absolute trash with like 2% win rates with any sizable amount when I know what it's really like out there. And so GCR, he has never revealed himself for obvious reasons. He likes George Soros. So here he is, his first hint. He's replying to someone. This was back in 2022, February. He's saying to someone, why do you dislike George Soros? So a lot of people don't like George Soros because he has a lot of political connections in the background. I remember Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David did a great video to showcase everything that George Soros is doing in the background, okay? So look at it. GCR says, he's the most generous and philanthropic man in history, has given away 70% of his net worth compared to only 37% for Bill Gates. I don't think that makes you philanthropic, friends. How do you get that money? That's another question to think about, okay? Like, hey, I can print all the money and then hand it out. Yeah, but you destroyed the value of the people in the system already. That's just, to give you one example. He says he's probably the greatest poop coin trader of all time, and he was completely self-made, starting with nothing after surviving the Holocaust, which is true. But then there are also, this is where the rabbit hole goes deeper. So GCR, this is his profile, gigantic rebirth. He made a few accounts, right? GCR Classic. He says, GCR spoke about Israel and used to tweet about Jews. He even knew Hebrew. So this is, and look at this. He says, Vivek G. Ramaswamy was a key member of Jewish Society Shabtai. So it's going to get deeper, friends. Don't worry. So this is GCR actually speaking Hebrew. This is very fascinating. And he speaks in like these biblical type of ancient type words, right? So he says, after the fall of Jerusalem, Ezekiel no longer spoke of God's judgment of his contemporaries, but of Israel's redemption in the latter days. It was as though he had done all he could to starve off the destruction of his people. So what are you seeing when here, friends? Okay, I'll tell you what's happening, okay? GCR is gifted. Okay, so obviously you can see people who are making $5.5 million, $10 million trades plus and posting P&Ls, they're gifted. They're on the trading leaderboards, they're competing. Okay, so what happens is you get an ego that develops. Okay, now ego doesn't have to be bad. I'm just telling you, you get an ego that develops. You get a very heightened sense of worth. So you probably question yourself. You're thinking like, why was I put on earth? Like, okay, I am the leader of people. Now, we can all make fun of it, make a joke of it, you know what I mean? But this is like somebody's taken it to a whole new level who speak in these biblical terms. Like, there's a greater calling for me. Like, trust me, it's great. There's a lot of respect, right? This is literally the one of one, friends. You're looking at like rank 1. But here's another thing. Like, bro, we're clicking buttons on the internet. Okay? We're clicking buttons on the internet in a casino. All right. So let's just put everybody back to earth. All right. We're not nurses in hospitals. We're not doctors, right? We're not firemen. We're not teachers trying to teach children. We're not that, we're not that single mom where maybe the father passed away in a car crash and she's got to raise the kids by herself. We are not those people. Okay. We are degens. Okay, we're degens. So this heightened sense of worth thing, it's okay. Okay, yeah, you made a lot of money. It's great, but let's pull it back a bit, bro. It's all right. And now here's where their edge comes in, right? So Vivek and GCR, so both of them, this rumor. So GCR is rumored to be Vivek now. He's saying they're both very good at prediction, and I'm posting the way they put forward their predictions in the past on X, Twitter. So here he is. So Vivek, he would type, prediction. By the time Biden leaves office, we will see government calling on big tech to stop the spread of climate change misinformation. Mark my words. This was 7th of September, 2021. And then he has another one. Prediction. The CCP will soon push the narrative that it's racist to say that the zombie virus originated in Wuhan, for example. Okay. Now you have Vivek saying another prediction. When we compete head-on with black, I almost said it, friends, Roca Negra, they'll try to put the toothpaste back in the tube. They already started in recent days. Okay, look at this. And then GCR, prediction. NFT communities issue governance tokens that accrue the benefits of mass adoption. This will inject tremendous liquidity. So he's talking to, they have similar ways of putting this prediction. But, it's not enough by itself. But when you look at everything together, it's something interesting to discover. Look at this. GCR predicted Ketanji Jackson Brown will be nominated. Then Vivek goes on Fox News and says, it's my prediction that Jackson, will be confirmed. So there's evidence here that will happen. So it's very interesting. They both had the same prediction that someone's going to have this, right? Here's another thing. GCR likes to rap. Vivek likes to rap. So GCR, Few understand that Muhammad Ali was the first and greatest rapper of all time, decades before the birth of hip-hop. Would recommend going through his rhymes, right? So this is friends. When you made a lot of money, you start tweeting stuff like this. Obviously, we all love Muhammad Ali. It's all great, but this is what happens. It's like, okay, I have millions and millions and millions and millions. I'm the greatest trader ever, right? I'm literally the George Soros of the crypto generation. I'm going to start posting this, right? It's just this. That's his way of poop posting. You know, we post memes and peppy memes. This is what he does. Now, Vivek also raps. Vivek raps to Eminem's Lose Yourself. Okay, actually sings. Wow, that's crazy. Actually raps out. So, GCR, being a normie crypto trader, spends 1,000 hours research on a pharma drug. Vivek, being a pharma company CEO, on the other hand, spends also a huge time researching and the data about research and the conclusion about efficacy match word to word. Okay, so what they basically said is the way these guys researched their craft about how, okay, about, you know, different drugs to take. So first, NMN, resveratrol, which everybody knows from the Joe Rogan episodes to try and improve your life longer, which I've got a feeling it's kind of not going to work, but you know what I mean? So everybody, friends, what they're going to do on the internet now is they just match your words in terms of, okay, who do you type similar to? And the patterns of the words. That's why AI is freaky, man. You basically can't say anything at any point. You just got to zip your mouth, go live in a mountain. All right. So the way they type the words, they match literally word to word about certain ways they write stuff. Now, also, GCR went on vacation according to a tweet he made. According to his tweet on July 2022, GCR went on vacation last month. And then Vivek did not post any stuff on Instagram from June 10th to 11th July. Else he was very active for the rest of the year. So they took a holiday coincidentally at the same time. They go AFK at the same time, so you're just away from your keyboard, okay? So, you know, it's something to think about. You add all this evidence up. Look at this. GCR created GCR Ventures. Now, this is really weird, right? He created GCR Ventures, his own like Twitter profile, and it says for GCR 2024, US presidential campaign, right? So weird, okay? And then the keyword to note in here is revolution. So GCR has the word revolution, right? Revolutions overturn systems. Revolutions destroy systems. Let's get free. It has a fist here, the power fist. Very common, right? Vivek also has it here. Join the revolution. I want you to join the revolution. So 2 times mentioned the word revolution as well. You know, so here we go. The evidence is mounting up. Next thing, Vivek launched his formal presidential campaign in Feb 2023. GCR stopped posting in April 2023. So they both disappeared, kind of at the same time, did same things together, right? You also have, look, Vivek, I did not know this, right? Vivek spoke at Bitcoin conferences. He accepts Bitcoin and crypto for his campaign. He holds both Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's probably their public wallet stuff. He is pro-crypto, so no surprises there. Final tweet, as said by GCR Classic himself. He wants to win the presidential election, and Gigantic Rebirth doesn't want to just be a vice president. Okay, so he goes, I want my crypto bros to speculate and speculate hard. This is Alan saying like, hey, do you really think it's him? So here is just more evidence of GCR posting. I want to win. VP is largely a ceremonial role anyways, and I'm unlikely to die in office. Now, I found this pretty interesting and cool. So Vivek himself, he used to buy stocks ahead of mergers. So before 2 companies would merge, they would try to look for like secret alpha information to find out which companies are going to actually be like, you know, combined together so you can buy them early and basically front run and dump on everybody else. Also, GCR used to buy coins ahead of their Binance Exchange listings. So famous persons on Twitter, Tree of Life from GCR. So the Tree of Life, that's a guide, right? He says he was finding out when Binance and other CEXs would list coins. So he would buy them first. And this is what Alan's saying. You could find this in different ways. For example, you could check API endpoints, so you could just look through the code and stuff. Binance did on-chain test transactions. This really isn't private info anymore. Everyone has kind of heard about it by now if they follow Tree of Life. So that was something like they do these patterns of behavior before they launch a coin. They'll go try to buy a coin and test it out and stuff. And here's Vivek here. So this is also more evidence. So do you remember that he mentioned this? Mr. Vivek is a board member of Philanthropy, so this is crazy. So look, this is GCR typing. GCR, the anonymous mysterious Grim Reaper saying, GCR Ventures has a pretty generous philanthropy arm, you know what I mean? And here it is. So Vivek is on this philanthropy R&D, the philanthropy roundtable, okay? I got a feeling, friends, these philanthropy things, I just got a feeling it's like a bunch of real, like really wealthy billionaires who are like sort of half reptilian, half UFO, satanic linked. I don't know why. I just got this feeling, this philanthropy word, it's like it's such a good term. Like, oh wow, nothing can go wrong here. We're billionaires. We're giving it to the people. I think there's something weird going on here. We'll probably find out later on that there was weird stuff going on about, but it's probably used to like indoctrinate yourself into like the group. You know what I mean? Into their inner group. Also, look at this. GCR formed GCR Ventures and posted this display picture. So he uses the fist, but the powerful fist seems like a common public thing. I wouldn't put it down to here, but it's just interesting. Power, the fist, right? It's the evidence. You put it all together, it makes you think. Maybe if they don't really know themselves, maybe they're friends, they know each other like that. It's kind of crazy to think someone could have these multiple skill sets to do that, but some people are just gifted. And here's Alan even saying, GCR is never coming back. Speculators will speculate. He's basically saying, yeah, dude ain't coming back. He's going to do this campaign now. Now, there's a message here from Kate saying, look, the engagement bait is here. That's basically like it's not true, but good work on condensing information. People who know him have said this is not Vivek. Proof enough for me, and Mr. Allen saying, look, I've got no interest in this, just a humble follower. Keep watching out. And then Halfpin said, Bruce Wayne's friends said the same thing about him being Batman. So, friends, there are inner circles out there. Don't look, the biggest lies that they ever convince you is that nothing's going on. Okay, what's that? Remember, I told you there's two things. There's incompetence and there's corruption. Okay, they don't want you to think corruption ever. They don't want you to ever think anybody's colluding. They know each other and there's groups. You know how I know this, baby dolls? You know how I know this? Okay, I'm starting to get my feet around the meme coin world, and I'm learning about the groups. I'm learning about these insiders and these groups and what's going on with these different rounds of people and how they shark each other. There are inner groups. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Okay, how do I know? I've been in some. I've seen screenshots. People tell me about them. I know there are inner groups. They do this. If they're doing it in meme coins to shill absolutely trash. To shill garbage meme coins on the internet. You think they're not doing it when it comes to like, hey, let's like inject everybody here and there. Let's kind of like, move around here. Let's get everybody sniff cow farts and like destroy their GDP. So we need to print money and then we control the money system. All that type of stuff. Like you really think there's no inner circles with that, but we're just humans naturally organized into meme coins. That's just something to think about. Like if we're willing to do it to make $400 on a meme coin, what makes you think people aren't going to do it to amass world power or like billions and trillions of dollars, like, ungodly amount of wealth? And so, you also have Mr. A Capital saying, I heard GCR talking in Discord a long time ago. He seemed like an old man from the voice, so I don't know. And you also have this person saying, no, this is GCR. So GCR made like this very weird alternative ego account where he started answering questions and started being a bit more open. And then I think he deleted it. So it is very strange, friends. But you're thinking like, why? What's the point? Well, the point is, if these people let you know how they think just a little bit, you might be able to see the future. Maybe. The way they see things, it might cause just one little spark. This is actually how you develop an edge over time. You refine it. Okay, so for example, luckily you have a friend like me who's actually making videos to tell you, hey man, the top signals, like Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer might be a 300K caller up here. Maybe Laser Eyes returns. Maybe another country is going to join El Salvador with the Bitcoin currency. You're going to, all these other things that come out, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all these type of extensive euphoria signals. Well, if you can just learn how these other dudes are doing it on a shorter time frame, then they can just open up a big world of possibilities. But, it is being drip fed. That's why I don't like to rely on it. It's fun. It's exciting, at least to entertain ourselves. But at the end of the day, like, This is something we can take home to the bank. I can show you repeatable examples of like, okay, people calling for 12K at the bottom here, you know, people calling for 50K at the top here. Okay, people calling for 12K again. You can actually see this and it's repeatable in the data and polls and stuff. And that's something we can take home to the bank. Because at the end of the day, friends, all we have is each other. And that's all we need. Make sure you tell mum and dad you love and appreciate him. Like, subscribe, press the bell button on, and catch you in the next one.